Inside Job Season 2 dropped today, so I'm going to break down all the crazy real-life theories that inspired the events in the show. My name is Deepcut, welcome back to Cartoon Universe, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more cartoon theories like this one. Season 1 ended with Reagan's father taking over Cognito Inc., and Season 2 began with her now at the low her father was at the beginning of Season 1, drinking and exposing secrets to civilians in front of the White House. The Cognito gang ends up going to a retreat in this episode called Bohemian Grove, popular among conspiracy theorists as a place where elites meet annually to perform supposedly satanic rituals. Alex Jones popularized this idea with his video of supposed sneaking in and capturing this on tape, with there being claims that presidents and first ladies like Hillary Clinton being involved. The Bohemian Grove, however, is famously known for its males-only policy, with women not actually allowed at the annual retreat or its ceremony, though they are allowed as guests of the male club members outside of these events as long as they leave by 9 p.m. In this episode, Reagan also starts a fling with an Illuminati worker, which helps give the season a direction for her to walk in and guide the narrative. Episode 2 brought in one of the wackiest conspiracies yet, surrounding how a lot of male celebrities don't seem to age, by bringing in Keanu Reeves as the new boyfriend of Reagan's mother. Some people have even found paintings of long-dead figures in history that look similar to these actors who don't seem to be aging during their decades on film, and theorize that they are immortal people living for hundreds of years and posing as actors in the modern age. Inside Job uses it to poke fun at some of these actors consistently having young girlfriends, and portrays them as vampires using their youthful partner's blood to stay forever young, which itself is another conspiracy, though not generally surrounding girlfriends so much as missing children. Episode 3 focused on Mike the Mushroom, and filled in a lot of gaps in his story that we started getting in Season 1, which is perhaps one of the most interesting little conspiracies inside of Inside Job. Mike describes himself and his people as coming from the inner Earth, but the opening theme shows Mike-like beings crashing on Earth in the past and apes eating some of their spores. This is a long-standing theory called the stoned ape theory, which suggests that humans gained their intelligence thanks to the consumption of psychedelic mushrooms they first picked for food. In the show, the gang goes with Mike to the inner Earth to meet the mushroom class he never merged into a hive mind with. The episode confirms that the mushrooms crash-landed on Earth millions of years ago, and that the apes consuming them led to them evolving the intelligence they have today. In the real-life theory, these mushrooms are said to make it from one planet to another, purposely spreading intelligence, making creatures intelligent enough for space travel, and thus the intelligent mushroom spores continue to travel through space with their help. In the show, however, the mushrooms saw the apes and humans eating them as a threat to their existence, and retreated into the inner Earth to hide from them, and one day to rise up against them. This goal seemed to be lost on Mike, who didn't realize that bringing humans with him to his people would be a bad thing. They brainwashed the gang and were planning to use them to understand human weaknesses, but managed to escape by the end of the episode. This makes the mushrooms one of the most fringe groups trying to take over the world so far in the show, as opposed to doing so with Cognito's help. Episode 4 of the season pokes fun at the church with a bit of a new conspiracy that Cognito Inc. is working on, trying to build a fake hell under Rome that, when exposed, would convince people that God is real, and send them rushing back to the church. Episode 5 focused largely on how both sides of the news, and really the social and political issues they cover, are orchestrated not just by the same side, but are purposely used to pit people against each other, with GG controlling an in-world version of both the conservative and liberal news outlets, with both pushing its viewer at the end of the day towards nothing but consumption. This is a particularly creepy episode after all those various real-life news stations were caught using the exact same scripts, from Fox to CBS, all parroting the exact same warning about misinformation online.
Of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets are true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Episode 7 brought in one of my favorite things, the Mandela Effect. This theory is essentially that sometimes two timelines merge, and half of us remember certain details from one timeline, while the other half remembers details from the other. For the most part, the worlds are the same, however. The name comes from Nelson Mandela, who died in 2013, after which many people came forward claiming they had experienced his death much earlier. Similar claims came out after the death of Michael Jackson as well, with people thinking he had died back in the 90s. In addition to deaths like this, certain people have different memories of things such as childhood books, which the show references as some people remembering the Berenstain Bears versus the Berenstain Bears. In the show, the merging and jumping of these timelines is explained as the result of Reagan's father and the previous CEO of Cognito Inc., who was his college roommate at the time that they invented a machine that did all this time play. This machine was how they ended up getting their jobs at Cognito Inc., working for the Shadow Cloaks. Episode 8 actually followed up on this by using it as a way to explain certain inconsistencies between the story of Season 1 and Season 2, something I picked up on as we got more of Mike's story, though I hadn't rewatched Season 1, so I wasn't 100% sure until they brought it up within the show. I respect the use of this to cover up and straight up acknowledge that they changed their plan a bit as they went along, probably because they did more research on certain things and it inspired new connections they hadn't considered back when the show was first started. Using the Mandela Effect not just allows them to change the story, but perhaps sow the seeds for a much bigger plot if the series continues. In this episode, we also learn that the Shadow Robes have been guiding humanity since the first intelligent people realized that the dumb people wouldn't listen to their logic. While they were responsible for atrocities like the Black Plague, they claim it was to stop an overpopulation issue. While they have done things like burning down rainforests, those were done specifically to stop evil sentient trees that were going to harm the humans. In Season 1, Reagan managed to balance the company's supposed evil to only 51% evil, and while there seemed to be some horrifying endgame for a lot of their work, at least some of it may have been done to stop dark forces that wish to hurt humans and that they are not ready to understand. Again, all of this comes after the different reality play that apparently happened throughout the season, so other dark things from Season 1 may be entirely irrelevant to what the Shadow Robes are claiming in this particular final reality. The major through line of the season was Reagan's new relationship with Statler, a pairing I discovered only this morning, and then within hours had fallen in love with. It was heartbreaking to see her watch the many timelines where their relationship failed, and only one where he was happy, which was apparently with someone else. They both thought they wanted each other, but what both really wanted was the version of each other that fit into their fantasy. Statler's fantasy was to leave the shadow government and live a normal life, and Reagan wanted to find a way to stay together within it and get her dream job running the shadow government. They wanted different things, and it was sad to see the way that she had to let him go so that he could really get what he wanted instead of staying back, because even if they broke up, he would have no reason to go off and forget his life in the shadow government without someone by his side. Reagan was then offered partner by the Shadow Robes, who then indicated, when Reagan was gone, that they are pulling some sort of big trick on her. This could mean that their claims of guiding humanity to an ultimate better isn't true, but we won't really know until we get to next season, but I'm really excited to find out. What was your favorite episode this season? What was your favorite conspiracy theory within the show? And where do you guys hope it'll go in Season 3? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time.